Welcome back to Cliff's Corner. In this episode, Cliff shows us how to rig a rainfly.
Now I'm at the back of the tarp and I'm simply going to stake the tarp to the ground. I kind of like to start by setting a center stake because that establishes the basic geometry of the fly. Then I'll pull out the right corner and stake the far right corner. Then I'll stake the far left corner. Stake all the intermediate points along the hem. Now the basic structure at this point is up, except for one thing. We need to pull the center out. We can do that in one of two ways. One option is to use the pull-out cord in the center. Again, remember the quick release sheet bend? That's why the loop's here. On goes the quick release sheet bend, and then this goes and stakes out to some tree or overhead branch, and that pulls the center up. Now it's always preferable to do this over using a pole if you have the right trees available in the right places. If not, we're going to have to use a center pole. Let's use a center pole layout just to show how it's done. Unless I know I'm camping in an area where there are just tons of trees and places to tie to, I like to carry some poles. Usually one pole is enough, but sometimes I'll carry as many as 3. I kind of prefer telescoping poles over the ones that are shock corded together because you may not use all the pole, depending on how you are pitching your particular tarp. Come on out of there. Okay. You may use this much pole, or you may use this much pole. On a full-length pole setup, these poles would probably be 7 feet long. Now at the very top of my pole I have a cork. You could use a cork or a crutch tip or a furniture tip, whatever, something to keep this from poking through your fly. Let's use the pole pocket in here and set this pole in place. Now it looks like to me that we're going to be just fine with just 2 sections, so I'll take one out and I'll go into the pole pocket and tighten this in place. Now when I've tightened this in place, I'll take the remaining cords and I will wrap them around the pole several times and then tie them with a bow. This keeps the pole in place so it can't come loose. And then I'll just punch this out so it's where I want it. And there we are. Now that's a pretty sturdy setup, but we can make it more sturdy if the wind comes up. The first thing we want to do is stake down the side. I think I'll secure it at this point right here. I take my tie, remember that quick release sheet bend? That's what's going in here right now. I'm going to secure it to these ties on a quick release sheet bend. There we are. And I'll run a stake right down to the ground right here. Remember the power cinch or trucker's hitch? That's what I'm using at this point. Secured with a quick release half hitch. Now I could secure this side down if I wanted to, the other sides too. This is really locking the sides of the tarp down. All that remains now is to lock the front down to keep it from buffeting up here. To do that, I'll need another cord. Admittedly, some of the techniques you've seen in this video clash with accepted ways. Good. Old ideas, bad old ideas die hard. Remember that when your camping friends question your new ways. The bottom line is that these methods work everywhere, anywhere, every time. I guarantee it. May the wind be at your back as you explore new places, and may you care enough to preserve the wild and wilderness for all who follow.
Thank you for watching Cliff's Corner. If you would like to see more content by Cliff, please subscribe to my channel. If you would like to purchase the Forgotten Skills video, go to Cliff's website, cliffcanoe.com. Or scan this QR code to go directly to Cliff's site. I want to thank Dan Nestor for permission to use his music. Stay tuned for more episodes from Cliff as he shares his tips to help make your camping experience more enjoyable.